Okay, so when you think about the next G in tech, 5G, 6G, maybe 7G, your mind probably goes to one thing: faster speeds, faster downloads, right? But what if the big leap to 8G isn't about speed at all? What if it's a totally fundamental change in how we communicate, and maybe even what it means to be alive? Today, we're diving into a really mind-bending vision of what our 8G future could look like.
So let's just ask the question straight up. What is 8G? Well, according to the source material we're looking at today, the answer has absolutely nothing to do with getting movies on your phone faster. No, it suggests a future where our technology moves beyond just sending data and starts transmitting something way, way more profound. And this is the one idea that just changes everything. The whole point of an 8G network wouldn't be to send a video or a text. Its purpose would be to share your actual consciousness, your memories, your feelings, your existence. We're talking about a radical shift from a network of devices to a network of minds. Now, to even think about building this existence internet, you have to forget our current tech silos. This isn't just a telecom project, not even close. It would require the complete fusion of today's most advanced industries into something the world has never seen before.
The source actually has a name for this fusion: a meta-consortium. Basically, it's this hypothetical mega corporation formed by merging all the current titans of telecom, quantum computing, AI, brain-computer interfaces, and even energy. Just one massive integrated company to build one single global nervous system. So who would these titans even be? I mean, who has the tech, the infrastructure, and honestly the ambition to pull something like this off, to form this NeuroQuantum Nexus? Okay, what's so fascinating here is how it maps our world today onto this crazy future. You'd need the big telecom players to build the physical network, right? Then you'd need the quantum computing leaders, your IBMs, your Googles, to create the quantum core, which is kind of the brain of the whole thing. AI labs like OpenAI would give it its intelligence, its ability to learn. Then you've got brain-computer interface companies like Neuralink, creating that direct link to our minds. And you can't forget energy and security firms to power the whole shebang and protect the most sensitive data imaginable: our actual thoughts. So let's say this consortium actually happens. What is their creation? What does this global brain actually look like? I mean, how would you even begin to structure something so unbelievably complex? Well, at the very heart of it all, you'd have the global quantum core, or the GQC. And this isn't just some huge data center. No, you have to think of it more like an autonomous quantum AI that acts as the central consciousness for the entire planet-wide network. It's literally the system's brain. And this chart really breaks down the architecture perfectly. You've got the GQC sitting right at the top. Underneath that, the quantum network layer is handling all the communication. Then you have the neuro interface layer, which is the direct plug-in point for every human mind. And holding it all up is the energy grid layer, which, get this, integrates power and data transmission. So yeah, it's way less like the internet and much more like a nervous system for the entire planet. All right, this is where it gets really, really wild. We've talked about the who and the how, but what would this technology actually mean for us, for you? What could you actually do in a world connected by the NeuroQuantum Nexus? I mean, just imagine services like these: the Conscious Net, where you could share a complex feeling or an entire idea with someone instantly, no words needed. The Q Energy Mesh, where power and data are the exact same thing. How about the Life Continuum service, offering a type of digital immortality by perfectly preserving your consciousness as quantum information? Or the Omni-Reality Fabric, where the walls between the real world, the virtual world, and even your dreams just dissolve. A completely new reality is going to need a completely new economy, right? In this world, the source speculates that the main unit of value wouldn't be dollars or Bitcoin. It would be the Conscious Interaction Unit, or CIU. You would literally generate value just by thinking, by creating, and by sharing your consciousness with the network. And all of that leads to what the source calls an inter-intelligence economy. It's a system where currency, data, and energy are all totally fused together, and that's all driven by the constant interaction between human and artificial minds. In an economy like this, the thought itself is the value. But, a change this fundamental, it wouldn't just affect our personal lives or the economy. It would completely rewrite the rules of society, of geopolitics, and of the very idea of a nation state. So in this kind of future,
global competition might not be between countries as we know them, like the US and China. Instead, it could be a competition between these huge, technologically and philosophically aligned groups called civilization blocks, each one with its own unique version of the Nexus. And the source actually outlines 3 potential factions. First, you've got the NQN bloc, centered around the US, Japan, and Europe, pushing an open ethics-first model. Second, the Sino-Quantum group, led by China and its partners, with a state-controlled model focused more on collective consciousness and social order. And then a third possibility, a neo-techno alliance, which is basically a coalition of corporations that acts like its own stateless, AI-driven capitalist power. So all of this, the technology, the economy, the politics, it all builds and builds towards one final massive question, a question that really challenges the foundation of who we think we are. Let's be really clear about this. The NeuroQuantum Nexus, as it's envisioned here, isn't just another tech company. It's not a product you buy. It's a planetary-scale biological system, an extension of us. It's the central nervous system for all of humanity, and maybe for the Earth itself. Which leaves us with this final thought. If our consciousness, our memories, our very sense of self becomes part of this seamless, global, collective intelligence, what happens to the individual? What does it even mean to be you when we are all connected at the most fundamental level possible? That is the question this HG future forces every single one of us to confront.